I want to tell another story. Odd places, different people. As I've said, not odd places because they're strange or different people because they're peculiar, but because they're memorable to me, and I hope they'll be interesting to you. This is about my friend, the late John Wesley White, a fellow Canadian from the plains of Saskatchewan that I met when we were both students at Wheaton College. We were in a philosophy class together. We met each other, taught together, and became friends. We played hockey together. He was a great hockey player from the plains. I was a goalie that couldn't skate very well, so they put me in goal. We prayed together almost every afternoon over the old gym with a group of other guys, and we palled around together. John Wesley White was one of the most memorable, colorful, eccentric characters I've ever known. Even the way he dressed, sometimes he'd wear, can you imagine a college student back in those days wearing a bowler hat like they might in England and a long Burberry coat, not blue jeans. I do remember he did his laundry every 2 weeks or 2 months, regardless whether it needed or not. He'd take his dirty old clothes and put them in the bathtub, put soap in there and stomp on it like he was a grape stomper. He was a funny, interesting man, very bright man. Anyway, one day he told me, he said, I'm Leighton, I've been dating this farm girl from North Carolina. I'm not getting very far with her. I think you need to meet her. I said, okay, that'd be good. So we went to a hockey game. He took Jeannie, and I took a girl that I knew to be part of the group that night. But I have to say it was to meet Jeannie. We went to a Chicago Blackhawks hockey game, and they were playing the Boston Bruins, and I remember two things from that night. One, an old lady above us who cheered so loudly her teeth fell out, literally. They came from the balcony above and fell out. And the other is I met Jeannie and enjoyed her, talked to her, and that was the beginning of many conversations which led to our love and our marriage. John White was an amazing person. He had a deep passion for God and for people. When he graduated from Wheaton College, a year or so ahead of us, he went off to Ireland and England, fell in love with an Irish girl and married her, preached all over little towns, little churches, wasn't paid very much for it. But he served Christ. He made Christ known. I got 2 PhDs, one from Oxford University. Later I introduced him to Billy, and Billy recruited him onto the team. He became an associate evangelist on the Graham team. Preached many years, was a researcher, gave Billy ideas and thoughts. And every once in a while we get together. 15 years ago, or more now, John Wesley White had a stroke just as he was getting ready to preach in a crusade in Tennessee. He couldn't preach anymore. He wrote a book about it, Suddenly Silenced. It was difficult for him to carry on a conversation after that. When we were together or even over the phone, he would he'd laugh a little bit. He could write some good stories. But he couldn't say much very clearly. But I do remember at the end of every conversation, on the phone or occasionally when we were together in person at his home in Toronto, he would end with 4 words as clear as a bell. Jesus Christ is Lord. Couldn't say much else. He could sing a few words, but he couldn't say much else. Jesus Christ is Lord. The last time Jeannie and I were with him, his wife Kathleen had died. He was lonely. We were sitting in his retirement home in a room up in Toronto, and we chatted a little bit. His sister was there, a couple of other relatives of his. And at the very end, I said, John, I appreciate the way you always end everything with the words, Jesus Christ is Lord. And I remember he sat up in his chair and looked around this little circle and said this, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ concerning you, a Betty, a Jeannie, Leighton, and me. He'd memorized those verses in a stroke, suddenly silenced man, but he could still say, in everything give thanks. This is the will of God in Christ concerning you. He died not too long ago. I miss our occasional conversations. I thank God for the fun we had together. I'm so grateful for the thousands of people who heard about Christ through him. And when I think of him, I hear that voice out of sudden silence saying those four words clearly. Jesus Christ is Lord. He's with that Lord now.